everybody, Kevin from Midwest Woodcraft here, and I'm just checking in real quick, short video for challenge number 4 of the Spirit of the Woods Bushcraft challenges. This one is making natural cordage and a primitive fish hook, and he wasn't really specific on the amount of cordage we need. I've got to start here. It kind of starts off bigger, and I've been kind of trying to taper it down as I go, get a little bit smaller of a diameter so that I'll be able to tie it on to my hook a little easier. This is basswood inner bark here. It's probably not the most primo stuff in the world. It is pretty dried out, been sitting in my shed, so just thought I would kind of use what I had laying around here today, try to get this done. So I'm gonna get the camera set up, and we'll show a little bit how we do this here real quick. Okay, here we go. So I have dampened this down a little bit. I find that for me, this works out a little bit better if the material I'm working with is damp. So what I'm going to do is, you can see I have it twisted up to this point. I'm going to take this top strand here, I'm going to twist it till it's tight in between my fingers. And then you can see how I jam my pointer finger in between the two strands. I'm just going to take and turn that back the opposite way. I'm going to twist that top strand. That last twist, I'm going to catch it in the middle just like that. Twist it the opposite way. Twisting away from me here. And then back towards you. Away from you. And back towards you. And once you get this wound up a little bit, I just keep twisting that one strand to kind of make it a tighter weave. But once you get going, you can kind of just I kind of try to push in with my finger there up against this part and kind of tighten it up. You can see the coil there, or the pattern. Just keep doing the same thing. And I'll get back to you when I get down here at the end. Okay, so now we've pretty much come to the end of our rope. Pun totally intended. So what we're going to do is take another piece of material, and we're going to stick it right alongside that shorter piece there. You can see that. Make sure you got plenty of overlap here. And once you get that overlapped, we're just going to keep doing the same thing. We're just going to twist that up with the cordage we previously already had there, or the material we already had there, and then we're going to continue on with our twist, and eventually that will accept that into the twist. You can see we have a little tag here where we splice into it. Trying to keep it kind of a small diameter down here, so we'll just see how that works out. And then we just continue on the same way we did before. After you get a few wraps, that splice will gain a lot of strength and you won't have to worry about that sliding out. Okay, so I don't have a ton of cordage here, but hopefully it'll be enough for the challenge. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little knife and cut off my tags from my splices. Straighten my cordage up a little bit. You can see I have a few of them here where I spliced in. So I'm just going to take my knife carefully. You don't want to get into your wrap, compromise the integrity of your wrap, but if you just real close, kind of cut those little fibers off, you can kind of make it look a little bit nicer. We got a little piece of cordage there, so got a couple more little tags here. When I'm done messing with this, we'll get started on our gorge hook, which we're going to try to attach to this. Okay, so now we're going to try to make our gorge hook, and I'm not even going to lie here. I've just been looking for an excuse to baton this little knife since I got it, and I just found it. So, split down this piece of walnut here. I could have found something else, but like I said, that gave me my excuse. And we're just going to kind of carve it down some, kind of find a straighter part. We're going to carve a point here. And then I'm just going to kind of shape my hook here while I still have this longer piece to work with. This is the LT Wright Patriot everyday carry blade. I usually carry this in my pack and use it around for small camp chores and things like that, but I just thought it'd be a nice little knife to use for this task. Get a little more experience with it. So now I'm going to take and try to break that off there. And this, I'm just basically going for small bait fish here. I'm not going to get crazy trying to make one for a big giant catfish or muskie or something. And we're going to cut just a little indentation here for our string. I don't want to go too far into it. Okay, so we got our gorge hook on here, and like I said, this knot might be a little too bulky. It might give us some problems, I don't know. This is something I'm going to have to try out here in the near future. I've messed around with my hobo reel quite a bit and things like that, but I've never used a gorge hook. So I'm going to have to try that out. But basically what we would want to do from my research is we want to bait this to where your hook is running vertical with your cordage here. And then, whenever the fish would come to take your bait, basically it's going to swallow the hook. And then whenever you pull on that, it's going to turn sideways and get stuck in the fish's throat, hopefully. That's kind of the idea of it. But anyhow, I wanted to, real quick, I'm going to go in and grab a weight. We're going to tie this on there. We're going to kind of test the strength of this cordage. We're going to try a 5-pound weight, and then if it holds that, we'll try a 15-pound weight, see if we can't break it. Okay, so we have our cordage attached to a 5-pound barbell, and it's holding it. Not sure if it's going to do the 15, but we'll just have to see. Okay, here we go. We have the 15-pound weight. I don't think it's going to do it. Whoa, actually it is. No problem. It did break when I tried to bounce it up and down, but it broke down here where I had tied my hook on at the knot. So that's going to be the weakest point there. I don't know if you can see that. It broke right there at the knot. Well, that's pretty cool. I was pretty impressed with the diameter of that cordage, how strong it is. That basswood's some really good stuff. It did break there, but put some pretty good torque on it. Here's another piece of cordage I made a few months ago. This has been outside in the elements for at least the last month. So it's looking really ratty and shabby, but this was some good stuff when I first made it. It was really strong. This is also made out of basswood inner bark, so that's some pretty good stuff. What I like about the basswood is it'll come off in long strips. You can pull off 10-20 foot long strips of the green inner bark, so you won't have a bunch of splices when you go to make your cordage, and it's actually pretty good strong stuff too. So anyhow, that's my entry to challenge number 4. Jake, I appreciate the awesome challenge. They just keep getting better and better every week. I really enjoyed this one. So anyhow, guys, y'all are doing an awesome job. Can't wait to see what the rest of you come up with. I'll see y'all on the next one.